Hello, I'm Paul Lambis and welcome to our 10th episode of Culturescope, featured on Cyprus Mail's interactive web portal Good Living. Our location for this episode is the attractive seaside village of Pomos. With its dramatic rocky cliffs, quaint fishing harbour and breathtaking coastline, this hidden corner of rural Cyprus continues as it has for centuries, with a focus on hospitality, a love of nature and fabulous food. Combining the beauty of the mountains and sea, Pomos is one of the most idyllic places the island has to offer. Set in an easygoing Mediterranean lifestyle, this ancient site is the perfect destination to explore the island's nature, history, culture, and national heritage. The village of Pomos is home to picturesque churches and chapels that are a testimony of the Byzantine civilization on the island. Buildings of ecclesiastical architecture, these spiritual sites depict scenes of religious tradition, beckoning visitors from near and far amid the most serene settings. Situated on the northern slopes of Pomos, covered in dense pine forests, the monastery of Panagia Christopateridissa is a remarkable place of history and devotion. Dating back to 1520, one cannot help but feel an inner tranquility and peace, as well as a sense of occasion. For those who are accustomed to pray or are spiritually inclined, this monastery dedicated to the Virgin Mary will offer one that little something extra. Pomos offers the type of warm-hearted, genial hospitality that typifies the heart and soul of Cyprus, summed up in the single word kopiaste, that invites visitors to savor the fusion of flavor prepared daily from locally sourced ingredients. From beautiful churches and stunning scenery, to forested mountain trails, incredible history, and a way of life that has hardly changed over the past centuries, this magnificent corner of Cyprus is waiting to be discovered. Antigoni Tasouri is one of the most acclaimed dance choreographers in Cyprus. With a successful career spanning 3 decades, Antigoni has completed numerous theatrical musicals and choreography for television. And through her dance academy in Nicosia, she continues to nurture important life skills in her students. Antigoni, for 3 decades now, you've been at the forefront of the performing arts industry in Cyprus as a choreographer. While it remains a side passion for many, you have successfully transformed your passion into a profession. How did you first come to dance and then choreography?
I started dancing when I was 4 in the UK, and then gradually all of this discipline that I was doing, ballet, tap and modern, motivated me to become a professional dancer. We came back to Cyprus, so I became a member of different groups, dance groups, and I was part of the Astasis in Limassol, so they was doing a lot of shows. So it's there where I started to think that this is what I want to do. And then through the years, I was a choreographer and a dance teacher, because I've been having my dance schools for the last 30 years.
Your academy in Nicosia teaches the most popular types of dance, including ballet, commercial, contemporary, jazz, tap, hip-hop and lyrical. What life lessons are taught through dance?
You don't have to become a professional dancer to be able to join a dance school, because a dance school can give you so much confidence through all disciplines of dance and musical theatre. So in my academy, I have students that they come with a lot of difficulties in expression, or they come here because they love, and I need to find all their world, their inside world, and bring it out and make them happy. It's not just making good dancers, it's making good characters and good people. And through dance, you can do all this.
What are some of the most important elements of storytelling for you in theatre and in your concert dance work?
I've been doing a lot of productions through my schools with a lot of musical, and I've been working with directors, scriptwriters, musicians, assistant choreographers, dancers, all of these people, and my dance academy students. For me, theatre is magic. So the first day I go to the theatre, and I do this every year, every time I do my shows, is when I stand in the middle of on the stage, and I can see and feel all the energy from the theatre. Empty seat, but there's so much energy. So this is why I call theatre a magic for me. I was blessed and lucky to have my 30-year anniversary of my dance academy, and we put up Aladdin, the musical. Everything was live singing, acting, dancing, very nice scenery, music, costumes. Everything was so professional and so up to the standard that I have set my standards, and I fight with myself. I always have my standards, and every 2 years that I put up a production, my goals are more up. One of the things that I've learned through all this experience is teamwork, and this is how I work. Any success is not for one person. The success is within the team.
Where do you find most of your inspiration for your choreographic work?
My creativity and my inspiration is through my everyday living. I get inspired from everything I live, the good, the bad, the sad. My life is it's separated into two ways, which is my personal life and my professional life. On a personal level, I'm very proud of my daughter, which I have Corina, she's 20 years old, and I'm very proud of her for her studies, for her whatever she's achieved. As a person, she's a very lovely person with a very good heart. So as a mother, I couldn't feel more fulfilled and proud for my daughter. And on a professional level, I have this for the last 30 years, going on to 31 years. And through this dance academy, I had 52 students that they have achieved and successfully have places in UK and America into professional studies for dance and musical theatre. And they're out in the industry, either teaching or choreographing or dancing. So I'm very proud of this and blessed and very happy and proud for my students. And at the same time, I've been choreographing for the last 28 years on theatre companies, not just mine, but in Cyprus, and TV work. So I think I feel fulfilled.
Supported by a team of local and international experts in their respective fields, Nina Shamtanis is the founder and managing director of Femina Plus, a powerful organization that aims to become a prime regional center for women of all ages and social classes. Nina, you're the founder and managing director of Femina Plus, a learning center and social club for women. How did the idea of this life-changing journey originate?
The idea of creating that center for women and about women actually started many years ago. When I was very young, I had opportunities to live and work in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So I did my own academic program. I didn't even know what does it mean. And first time I worked, I used to be flight attendant, and I finished business school. So finally I'm teaching about health and beauty. And the program was accepted by the Ministry of Education, and I started teaching. I started with 18 students, and in 6 months' time I was told I have to have 30 students in order to continue. I had 150 plus so many waiting lists. The classes become so popular that they start opening in other educational centers all over the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and I was very proud that was my work. The idea to do this, to show to women and to encourage women to have their voice, especially in that part of the world, for me it was really enjoyment to do. I wanted to first start from the women who are working in the beauty industry. In many countries, especially those countries, men are the ones who are selling for women. So I have made a deal with one of the biggest companies. They are called Mawara Trading, that had Estee Lauder Group. And I told them, look, if you want me to represent you, I will make you the top sellers in all of the kingdom. But in return, I would like to be paid. They told me, but we don't pay anyone. Well, there is always the first time. Anyway, we made a deal and I was the first paid woman in the company in Saudi Arabia in that time, and many others after that. They follow up and they start paying them. So this was a very special time for me. And this is how we started. Later on, I moved back to United States, where I continue working with another company, Guerlain. And that was really my enjoyment, to work with women, about the women. And when I decided to move here to Cyprus, I thought I would like to work something more than a beauty industry. I would like to enter the world of women, entrepreneurs, women who want to grow, who have the ideas, to support and to give them kind of a support. So why not to open a center here? So I started working on that program, and this is how Femina Plus was born, where the idea is to, in one place, create a platform of women who will come and who will grow in their, not only professionally, but also personally.
What are the continuing challenges faced by women in their professional and personal lives?
On the personal level, of course, is pressure of still a very much family-controlled situations here in Cyprus. It's still very much more far than how the West is working. So it is to follow the rules, how can I say, of the family, women to get married, to get the children before they finish education, and to be all proper before the age of 30. And professionally, it's still facing a big challenge with a men-oriented environment here. Although many women are very well trained educationally and with experience to handle any role, even to be a president of a country, that I would really like to see this to happen one day, because there's so many fantastic candidates. But also I would like to see them more as members in the parliament. I like to work with people who are successful. I like to learn from them. I like to be positive, and I like to surround myself with such a people, because I want to pick up the best and implement in my work. We already had two really fantastic events. One of them, we're supposed to have Mr. Jimmy Choo, the famous shoe designer, to be our guest for 5 days in June. And this way I wanted to actually meet Mr. Jimmy with many very talented fashion designers here, and to promote them, how locally, also regionally, maybe worldwide. And we wanted to also support, I always support the charity. On my event we support Hope for Children. Whatever job I do, always work I do, even if it's a few euros in the tickets, I always collect and I give to the charity. This is very important to me. I would like to bring well-known names abroad, to bring them here, introduce them to our beautiful island, introduce them to our workforce, to our businesses. And I work in many different industries, if it's in music, if it's in art, whatever it is. So whatever I think will benefit island, will benefit businesses, will benefit women, I'm gonna do that. It's never too late to start anything. Never be afraid of your dreams, never be afraid of your ideas, but put them on the paper and find the right team to implement them. Working alone in today's society, it's very difficult. Listen what is needed. Don't create something that is already there. Be original in your ideas, and take the first opportunity you have to go on. I lived in 12 different countries. I live in 3 different continents. I live in Europe, Middle East, United States. So when I moved to Cyprus, I just fell in love. It was very small for me, but my heart is really here. I'm originally from Belgrade, Serbia, and we have a very, very strong connection with Cypriot and Greek people. And as I say, this is my home away from home.
On a family trip to Cyprus, and while visiting Petra Doromiou for the first time, the beginnings of his passion to write the story of Mistress of the Rock came to fruition. Born in Orsett, England, Myron Edwards believes his work will contribute to the expanding culture of the island and provide a lasting legacy for the Aphrodite legend. Myron, you're a published author who has written for BBC, radio and television, whose credits include The Two Ronnies, Weekendings and The News Headlines. What inspired you to pursue a writing career?
My introduction into writing came purely by chance because I was a drummer in a band for a while, and a guy who was my lead singer and rhythm guitarist, a chap called Phil Campbell, he worked in Hammer Studios, the film company. And he was quite a clever guy, and he said to me one day, "Look, I'm looking for some scripts for a hospital radio show." And I said, "Well, I don't know, I've never written anything in my life." So he said, "Oh, you do comedy a bit, go on, you do comedy on stage, why don't you try it?" So I did. I wrote 6 scripts with him. Now they recorded them and played them to the patients and things like that, which was great. And then we had some material left over. So what we did was we sent the material to Dave Allen. So he sent them to the Two Ronnies, and I don't know, luck or whatever has it, we got on. And that kicked us off, because then we started writing in earnest, and we started writing for Headlines, Weekendings, and various other programs where we could, start to make a name for ourselves.
Tell us about your passion for Aphrodite and what motivated you to base your work on the goddess of love and beauty.
As far as Greek mythology and things like that was concerned, it was not something that really appealed to me, okay? But my wife and I, before we even got married, came to Petra Doromiou. I mean, this place is amazing. So we came here, but we went to the restaurant around the corner. And when we were at the restaurant having lunch, I noticed something on the wall. It was a poster. And I just couldn't believe it. I was thinking to myself, why is this place called Aphrodite's Rock? There's no proof of it, no evidence. I mean, even the Botticelli picture doesn't show her, in this location. It shows her in a conch shell. And it was really strange, because on this poster, I saw an image in the water. I just couldn't get it out of my head. I just couldn't fathom it. It just seemed so out of place in terms of, what I was experiencing. It kicked it off. It just kicked it off. I just got this idea. You've got to write this now. Somehow you've got to write it. But it wasn't until years later, when we came to Cyprus as a family to live, that I could get it out of my system.
Mistress of the Rock is the first book in a trilogy. Did you initially want each book to stand on its own, or were you trying to build a body of work with connections between each book?
Originally, Mistress of the Rock was a one-off book, which it does have a beginning, middle and an end, of course. So from that point of view, I thought, well, that's it. That's as far as it's going to go. So I started looking around in mythology and came across a legend, if you like, called the Scylla. Now, she is one of 2. The other one is Charybdis, and they are the 2 mythological beasts that are between the rocks. Now, when I say between the rocks, that means they're between a rock and a hard place, which is what the sailors encounter when they try to get past them. So the Scylla basically tries to take out the sailors, and if that doesn't work, the other sister does. So I incorporated that into the story, because with the book ending the way it does in the first one, it leads itself into the Aphrodite legend, taking on another dimension of her personality. And that consequently gave me the opportunity to write this second book. Now, when I came to the end of the second book, I thought, aha, now we have a third book in the making, because there is an opportunity to be able to extend the story further, but from another different perspective. Sometimes you look at the characters in Greek mythology and you think they're vicious, they're cruel, but they're also they have integrity, you know, and that's something I think that we can benefit from as we endure what we're enduring at this present stage. So from that perspective, yeah, I find that the whole ethos of Greek mythology has given me a better idea of what life is all about.
You know what I don't understand? How the hell are you still alive?
Must have been a pretty bad fall. The comet you see in the sky right now passes over the Earth every 6 years and causes a portal. But when it's open, we get a visitor from a distant galaxy. The poet warrior in the sci-fi sense. The spaceman. He comes here looking for a fight with you. The chosen Jiu-Jitsu. If he doesn't get it, he stays and he kills everything. That is Alien Politics 5 through 15. Now you are all the chosen Jiu-Jitsu fighters. But as long as you die bravely, no one else will have to. He's crazy, like me.
Jiu-Jitsu is guaranteed to satisfy the millions of martial arts and science fiction lovers across the globe. Shot entirely on location in Cyprus, Jiu-Jitsu is the first international film production to utilize the new Cyprus film scheme launched by Invest Cyprus. Directed by Dimitri Logothetis, Jiu-Jitsu is based on the comic book of the same name, which Logothetis penned together with Jim McGrath.
I always had in mind that I wanted to do something around science fiction, and so I wrote a comic book called Jiu-Jitsu, just to see what it would look like. I try to make something fun. Martial arts, I think, I grew up in martial arts. I was a 2-time black belt in my 20s. And I think that martial arts is probably one of the only art forms where, as a young man or woman, you can look up on the screen and you can see that you could be that superhero. You watch all these superheroes movies today, and you see all these special effects, and you see all these actors pulling these things off that I can make them look great doing. But with my films, they're all real martial artists. They've studied for years. They really do all the things that you see on the screen. And I think it's something that sort of takes you away, and it's a fantasy about good guys and bad guys and doing the right thing and loyalty and all those kind of things that I think are important.
There's no honor in killing crazy. I can fly too.
Stay connected and follow us on social media. If you want to be featured on Culturescope, contact our production team on the email provided below. Until next time, stay safe and let culture transform your life.